Greg Allison, Swivel News. Guys, it's getting insane right now. Just when you think it's got crazy, it just gets crazier. Tonight, we're not going to cover all the stuff abroad, the war news, which is insane on top of insanity. We're going to cover what's happening right here at home, because I think this is our biggest risk. What's happening right here at home, what's been brought into our country in droves it's unspeakable. The situation just is, let me share the news. Let's just get straight to it. And I'm going to bring up the chat room here just so I see who's coming in the house here. But we're going to go to the news here because it's just off the charts, my friends. Meet the terrorist next door. Welcomed by who? President Taterhead, no less. And this is talking about how the suspects are coming across and how it's just, guys, people on the FBI's terrorist watch list, how you might actually have some of these as your next door neighbor. They're coming in from everywhere. What is happening is it's not just what's talking about how. Hang on. Sorry, guys. It's not just what's crossing the border on foot. They're flying them in. 320,000 got free plane tickets to come in the United States, and that's not counted in what's coming across the border. I mean, guys, look at this stuff. Here we go. Press release. Now, this is from Gerald B. According to this .gov website, but it is a political.gov website from the House of Representatives, Joe Biden, according to this site, secretly flew 320,000 illegal immigrants into the United States. 320,000. Now, they talked and they had this border deal they were trying to cook up, in which they were talking about how many they would allow to come through the passes. Oh, they weren't counting these. Remember the little video where the congressman went to the airport in Atlanta, and unbeknownst to him, there was this room just chock full of these guys? Oh, yeah, this is what's happening. They're getting free plane tickets to come in the United States. Not only that, once they get here, they're getting housing. They're getting put up in 5-star hotels. They're getting food stamps. They're getting all kinds of aid. They're getting, in some states, low to no interest loans to buy houses, which they're probably getting paid for that too. They're getting cards with money on them, whilst poor American taxpayers suffer. What's coming across? How are they vetting these people? Oh, yeah. Well, they're using a cell phone app. Yeah. And they're getting to sign up to come over here by an app, which our government sponsors. Our government, your tax money, is paying for all these guys to come here in the United States in droves. And they're shipping them to cities all over the United States. Now, one just has to wonder how many of these are actually, some people are speculating. I don't know. Some people are speculating that maybe more are going to the purple states, the so-called swing states. That's what some of these people are speculating. I don't know, guys. But what's happening here is, let me ask you something. Do you think this is an invasion? Many of these people coming across are military-aged young men from countries that aren't friendly to the United States. A lot of these people coming across that are filling this app out are coming from nations such as Cuba and Iran. Now, I can understand people want to get out of those countries, but usually you don't get out unless you're the ones that get sent. Some countries, such as China, you definitely don't get out of unless it's approved by the controlling party. Oh, yeah, and they have apps and things that sponsor people across, and we've known that a lot of NGOs that are being funded by the UN, which has been funded principally by the United States, your tax money, have been walking across the border through all those different passes. Well, that wasn't enough. They've been flying them in. I've seen some wind of this in some earlier articles that kind of touch on this subject, but now we know what the full number was for 2023. Flown in at taxpayer expenses. Is this happening in other countries in the West? Likely. This was discovered by a FOIA. It was a group that really pushed for this to find out. There have been 8.7 million illegal crossings nationwide. Over 7.2 million at the southern border. Well, they're coming in from the north too. And one of our mods in the chat room is showing me pictures of where a lot of them are getting bussed in on buses. Yeah, crossing the border. I've seen the videos. I have seen the videos, bus after bus after bus coming across the northern border. They're coming in. They're being brought in. I did a video on Green Greg's talking about how, I think I did it on Green Greg's channel, how the government's just basically just doing everything they can to pull them in. And I cited Cloward and Piven, their agenda, how it actually called for that back in 1966 in a report they wrote. And for those that think they didn't have influence, I showed a picture of them standing behind President Clinton when he signed that infamous, glorious, according to some, usually on the left-leaning side of the political spectrum, motor voter bill. So they want to get rid of requirements for IDs to vote. Now, why would that be? Could that have a consequence that's not so good? What do you think? And what does Elon say? Elon says this is worse than 9/11. Worse than 9/11. Well, when you consider sleeper cells and everything that seems to be coming across. Oh yeah, where's this? What website is this? Times of India. Guys, the other countries are pointing this out. They're laughing at the United States. They're saying they're shaking their head overseas at us. This is Times of India. Wow, guys. Elon, and there's another Indian article that's I'll show you in a little bit that's even more pointy than this. Elon Musk raises concerns about national security vulnerabilities. Yeah, he had this hit him at his German plant. His German plant got attacked by, you'd think electric cars would be the holy grail of environmentalists, but they attacked his Tesla plant in Germany and caused $1 billion worth of damage. Yeah, so he's beginning to feel this pinch. Yeah, Red Cross is in on that. You're right, Arnold. Stuff that we've donated money to, thinking it was a good cause. Yeah, money and blood. Guys, it's planting season. These guys are consuming, the food resources are getting skinny. Our farmers are being challenged. Farms are shutting down. They're not able to make it. The grocery stores are getting bare. If you don't believe that, watch the Poplar report. He gives 1 or 2 reports every day talking about the challenges to the supply chain and our food supply. Steve Poplar over in the Poplar report. He's one of my buddy YouTubers. I have a lot of admiration for what he puts out. And he's always warning us about what's happening there, along with other channels like Adapt 2030. You guys, one of the best ways you can take care of that and other grid down situations is to be able to feed yourself. And one of the best ways to do that is to grow your own food. Cause them kibbles, you feed your nugs, flip that word around if you're new to my channel, to go try to procure 4-footed or winged game. That stuff's going to run out in just weeks. You better have some longer term strategy. Growing your own food is the best way. Plus, with all the stuff that we're finding in our food these days, especially all the processed food, you really need to grow wholesome food of yourselves. True Leaf Market has non-GMO heirloom seeds. Heirloom seeds is what you need so you can plant and harvest the seeds and get the same crop back next year when you can't come here anymore and buy stuff, when the internet is down and maybe the power grid. Another good source is Eden Brothers. Use the links I post in my videos. It won't cost you a penny more, and at least to help me out some of my channel. I actually got a little affiliate marketing out of these channels this month. I got $40-something. I haven't got anything out of the long-term food storage in a while, but it is planting season, so avail yourself to that, please. You know, some people think I'm getting rich on all this affiliate marketing. Whoa, no, far from it. Yeah, if I wish. My main source of income right now is super chats. Anyway, guys, seriously, that's it. Now get this, Hindustan Times. This is another Indian paper. They put in their headline here, quote from the T-Man. Worst president, Biden, because he flew 320,000 illegal immigrants into the U.S. 320,000. Guys, there are people who have had far worse things to say about it than that. I mean, if you look at this, people have equated this to, I mean, illegal aliens. Mayorkas could not, when Jim Jordan queried him in a congressional hearing, when he was testifying, could not answer where certain people that were on the watch list got released to, where they were at. Could he track them? He couldn't answer. No wonder they impeached him in the House, but the Senate is not going to convict him. The Senate, being Democrat run, just swept that under the table. So, guys, let me ask you, if there's any way you could interpret this as, if you think it's not an invasion, if there's any way you could say that all these people that come across is not an invasion, I'd like to see you put a 1 in the chat room. If you think this is an invasion, I'd like to see a 2. But even with this system they're using, it is an illegal. These immigrants are coming in illegally. They're not going through the legal process, but our own government is aiding and abetting an illegal process and paying for it with your tax money. If they're coming through illegal, is it not an illegal process? What is it? You guys tell me. I'd like to see you guys respond to that. I'm going to watch for your response. Here's the app that they're using. Customs Border Patrol 1. Oh, yeah, number 1. CBP 1 app. You can download it on your phone. Follow these easy steps, it says. Oh, yeah, easy. It's easy to get in this country. Looks like the votes in the chat room are leaning toward this being an invasion. So if you aid and abet an invasion into this nation, if you think that's not treason, put a 3 in the chat room. What do you think? I'd just like to know what you guys think about it. I'm not going to say anything. Just tell me what y'all think. If you think, as some people have accused, that this is not, well, contrary to what some people, if you think it's not an invasion, put a 3 in the chat room. If you, if you think it's not treason. If you think it is treason, put a 4 in the chat room. I'd like to see where you guys stand on this. What do you really think about it? How do you equate this? How do you judge it? Our own government, with your tax money, has been funding this. Your government, your tax money, at least for those of you that are Americans, but this isn't just an American phenomenon, guys. In Social Security. Well, some of us have paid into it for a long time. We'd like to get a little bit of it back. We know it's going to come to an end. Paid for by the U.S. government, aided and abetted. What administration? Now, I think there's people in both parties that are guilty. Hey, Brandy, I think there's people in both parties that are guilty of this. Primarily the rhinos, and the other party that tends to be somewhat on the left side of the political spectrum, you might say. Hey, yeah, you caught me alive. Hi, Michael. Potato Brain needs a hemp necktie on a nice little island. Oh, nah, you can't call for that. I shouldn't have repeated that out. I didn't understand what you were saying at first. Yeah, you get in trouble for calling for those kind of things. I'm not advocating anything like that. But he definitely, I think maybe having him in office is elder abuse. Maybe he needs to be in an old folks home somewhere and taken care of. about that? Demonic. Patio. I have a hard time disagreeing with that. Patio and mini garden. That's a good way to garden on a patio. If you don't have anything else, grow on a patio. Yeah, let's don't call for anything that would get people too excited here. But yikes. Yeah, I didn't quite grasp what you were saying until after I said it. So I'll eat those words. I get in trouble reading what's in the chat room occasionally. Yeah, that can get you in a lot of trouble with the Fed. But anyway, guys, so just bear in mind that, he just needs a nice little retirement and a assisted living facility where he can be taken care of with bars around it. Oh, geez. Anyway, guys, wonder if they would allow a Canadian. Probably not. Anybody's trying to get in legally has got a lot of hurdles to jump through. But if you break the law coming in, they'll throw money at you. Just throw money at you. Now, this was as of September. This is when we were into 3/4 of the calendar year. At that point, so I said there was already some stuff out there about this. This article kind of, paints the picture as of then. We now know that number might have been 320,000. Let's talk about the app. Talked about totals per month. Some of the nations Nicaragua is a communist country. Venezuela is a communist country. Haiti is a poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Cuba is a communist country. Yeah, and they're coming from Iran too. There's other countries they're coming from. I can understand people want out of these countries. Absolutely. But who's really coming in? We know that for the Chinese, they reduced the questionnaire of entry from 42 questions to 5. Made it real simple for them. If you're an asylum seeker, you should be seeking asylum for political persecution or religious persecution. If you think these people are really coming across for political or religious persecution or claiming asylum, if you believe that, put a 5 in the chat room. If you think they're coming across for other reasons, put a 6 in the chat room. 7 million beds. Wow. Well, that should keep you busy, Mr. Woodworking. Wow. Jeez. Now they will hire those guys to make them. Good luck getting a job yourself. Now here's the scary one. Florida sheriff. He had a big sting operation on human trafficking. And he was saying that some people are actually being trafficked into this country, according to him. I'm not claiming this. I'm just saying this is what the sheriff is claiming. This is an elected official. He's claiming that they are coming in under these flights. Yeah, he does Operation March Sadness, not Madness, Sadness, because it's sad what they're finding here. They're talking about human trafficking. And he says that they're being forced to play patty cake, if you remember the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I'm trying not to say these words out loud, but you can read what I've highlighted here. Those of you that are watching. Is this, I don't know, guys, but is this what our tax money is aiding and abetting? I don't know. That's what the sheriff claims. That's what the sheriff claims. Sheriff Judd, Polk County, Florida. Sheriff Grady Judd. He arrested 288 people, but there were a lot of Americans that were also in on this. Pulling them in. And these guys come in on free tickets, but they were forced to pay money to the trafficking individuals, according to this sheriff. I like this. Shame on all of them. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I don't know. I don't know, guys. This is scary. But here's what really bugs me right here. Homelessness is rising among U.S. veterans for the first time in 12 years. We got veterans in the street. See this guy? No legs. He's a disabled veteran living in the street. Sitting there living in the street, watching all these undocumented aliens walk by with all their cards and money going to those five-star hotels. If y'all think this is just and good, put a 7 in the chat room. If you think this is a shame, put an 8 in the chat room. I think I've decided to use odd numbers for odd things, and even numbers is, I think, where y'all gonna be voting. That's my choice tonight. State of California spent $22.8 billion for the care of these undocumented aliens. $22.8 billion last year. In addition to what the federal government spends, Chicago is putting out money just to the city of Chicago, $138 million to house, feed, and care for. According to this article, illegal immigrants, people who are breaking the law. But this guy who risked his life and took great injury trying to support the country, what's he get? The street. The street. Wow, guys, I don't know what to make of this stuff. The street. Oh, look at this. California bill would open up home ownership opportunities to undocumented immigrants. What happened to the word illegal? They got 2,300 applicants in just 11 days. And I think this is one of those like zero interest loan programs. I don't know. It's some crazy stuff that they're making available. I've read somewhere else. I think they were getting zero interest loans. I don't see that in this article. See a lot of ads for junk you wouldn't want to buy. But anyway, you tell me what you think, guys. Yes, it's diversity how our vets are treated. You know, I showed you an article some time back where one of the Democrats mentioned that the so-called undocumented immigrants were their favorite people. Actually said it, quoted it, that. Anyway, but we got to watch what we say here, because they can tell us over here in Sputnik International. I think they got more freedom of speech than we do sometimes. U.S. censorship industrial complex is alive and well. Well, what would they be talking about? United States online censorship industrial complex. Oh, yeah. Somebody was flagged by who for policy violations? I don't know, guys. Maybe they had violations, but, you know, we've certainly, look, Truly Talks channel with Steve Truly. You look at League Project even being, which I don't get that one at all, being demonetized completely. I can't even fathom why that would be. But then some sites are no longer available. Remember when I used to show y'all articles from War News 247? This is a Greek site, so this is not just happening in the United States. This is not just in America, guys. Yeah, they don't need an ID to vote or anything. Wow. For those that's just joining the chat room, we're talking about the 320,000 undocumented aliens that were flown at government expense, U.S. government expense, into the United States. They applied with an app downloadable on their phones to do that. Yeah, look here. See me. This is one of my recent videos. I go to great pains. I don't show violence in my videos. I try not to say that people were K'd. I go to great pains not to show things like that, or to show nugs. I know of other channels that do that regularly, and to hear them talk, they don't get their videos demonetized, and when they do, they challenge it and win. Now, here's a challenge that I lost. According to this, the Human Review did a finding and said that there was violence situations showing hurt, damage, or injury. Can y'all recall me showing hurt, damage, of injury recently on my channels? I think once when I was scrolling through X, I made a mistake of showing some of the riots in France. I learned real fast you can't do that. So I don't do that anymore. I'm real careful what I show. But see, I got hit, and I get hit a lot. I appeal, and I lose all too often. I challenged this, and I've not seen back any response to my challenge against this. They even temporarily put the video I did not before last, where I was talking about the law, C-63 in Canada, that they're trying to put forth. That got demonetized or restrict, put out as limited advertising, which is the same as being demonetized. And I appealed that one, but they just ruled in favor of me. But when you're doing news reporting, nobody's going to watch anything that's 2 days old. So all the ad opportunities are gone. But I protested it just simply because I'm wanting to, if I don't protest, they'll absolutely demonetize everything. But when you lose like this, that means that when you do an upload, like I like to upload videos sometimes instead of going live, especially on ring grips, they delay the check-in for like 20 minutes before, on any video you put, they delay the check-in and make it put it in the check-in forever. And if you got breaking news, I have had stuff in check-in for a day or two. I had a breaking story on something. Nobody on YouTube was talking. It's going to be a huge, big story. And I had the breaking, nobody had talked about it on YouTube. It wasn't even in the news yet. I was breaking a story, but it stayed in check-in for 2 days. I couldn't post it. By the time it got through, it wasn't me point in even posting it because it was old hat then. Everybody had already talked about it. No one wanted to hear about it anymore. So, well, that's great. That's what happens when you're trying to do news. You can't tell them illegals, Greg. That's politically incorrect. That's what they think, Clay. But, if you're breaking a law, we got laws on the books. If we're breaking a law, is that not illegal? Isn't it not against the law to break the law? I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm missing something. What am I? I'm just some poor dumb rocket scientist. What do I know? What do I know? I'm just some poor dumb rocket scientist. Oh, Haley finally decided to end her race after Super Tuesday. Now I don't know if she's actually withdrawn or just not campaigning. I think she might be laying in the back hoping that Trump gets convicted. Anyway. But get this. This article says that 92% of her voters approve of Biden's performance. What's that tell you? Interesting. We're not supposed to talk politics on there or campaigns. Rodney, salute to you, Rodney. Thank you, sir. That's what keeps me going right there. And I'll have a swig of coffee on that. Toast to you, Rodney. Trump won Maine. Well, the only state she carried was Vermont. She carried District of Columbia on that figures. Who was actually voting in the election there? You had to wonder that too, right? Biden carried all of his, except for the territory of American Samoa. There was some other candidate that carried. Oh, I didn't have anything there. Okay. So we're going to be quick tonight. We're not going to be in here all night. It's late. So space weather. A lot of sunspots. None ginormous right now, fortunately, but that's a lot of spots peppering the sun. We see some getting into the equatorial region. So that suggests we're getting really close to solar max. Sometimes they say we don't really know when Solar Max was until it was over. So we're getting really close to it. So it's early. Some people thought we'd either have an early Solar Max or an extended powerful Solar Max. There's a comet. It's like a galaxy. You don't get that naked eye without long exposure. That's probably got to be a drama to give you a picture like that, which is on a collision course with America. New Days. Wow. Salute to you, New Days. Let me scroll down and see what your comment is on that. Help keep the boogeyman away. Yeah, that will. Amen. Salute. Yeah, my bills here are eating me alive because I ain't got no income. So that helps a lot. Well, I do, but it's you guys. You guys are my supporters right now. I really appreciate it too. Let's look here at this aurora. You can see it's going to be daylight over in New Days territory in a little bit. The sun will be coming up soon. We're almost at equinox, though. We're about to be where the day and nights are equal again. Then the days will get longer here in the northern hemisphere. For you guys down under, you're going to start getting shorter. Your summer is getting long in the tooth. It's like our winter is up here. All righty, folks. There's the weather. So the official newscast part of this is over. We'll just do some chat for a little bit. And with that, I will not go through all the weather just yet. Bing, we'll go look at the chat room. Hello, how's everybody? Wow. There's a lot of war news going on. I will wait and try to cover that next time, but I just thought it was important, given the gravity of the situation of what's coming in this country, to talk that. I'm going to do a walkabout talk on Green Greg's, maybe a couple of them dealing with this and some of the other ramifications. I'm going to save that for a special upload video, and I'll put it on that channel. We need a president like Coolidge for this mess. Honeydew fun. Oh, what did Rodney say? Thank you, New Days. Oh, alimony. Honeydew. Oh, is this a honey DOO or honey DEW? Lordy. Hey, deep function 100,000 minus one. This is rest in peace, World War II veteran Martin Glass. Taking a nug everywhere permitted. Well, what did Thomas Jefferson say? Somebody, well, we don't understand what the founding fathers meant. Well, they actually wrote pretty plainly what they meant. A lot of occasions, just didn't put it all in the Constitution. They didn't think they had to. I mean, what did Thomas Jefferson say? He said, "Hey, you don't know me, Mom. Sorry, you just got on your video. Salute to you. Thank you very much." Hey, that matches my shirt. Thomas Jefferson said, "Let every free man have his arm by his side at all times." Was that not clear? Was that clear or what? Nah, we don't. We just can't understand what they meant. Jeez. Oh well. So much for ignoring reality, which some people like to do a lot, ignore reality. Well, there's a reason for that. With all this stuff coming across our border, hey, Steffers, those hearts look like my shirt too. Salute to you. How's things up in Chicago, man? Hey, Lord Dragon the Red. Anyway. Things are a little too interesting right now. Just a little too interesting. Guys, Trump is wanting to send a lot of folks back home. It'll be a major undertaking. I don't know how that's to be pulled off. But passed. Thunderstorm start along with a PSD dog has me. Oh, okay. You got a dog with PTSD? Yeah, that dogs hate thunder. Oh my gosh. Some dogs do. I remember when I was a kid, we had some dogs that would just purely panic when it thundered. Well, let's go back into the share. Let's look at some weather here. No, I'm going to let's see if I missed anything in the chat room first. So I was going to check the chat. This is one I like to do. Like I said, for those that watch this channel for the news, I cover the news up front. Then we go, we're a family. I mean, this channel has been supported by my viewers. It's been supported by the ones that come in live chat and the ones that, you You guys are keeping me going with the super chats and just the general support, emotional support. You keep me going. So, Matt D, started my garden inside. It's about time. There you go. I had somebody, I made a video that says, well, you can grow enough food on 1/10 of an acre to support 4 people. I've talked about that several times on this channel. I've shown a couple of different ways to do that. Actually, maybe 3 or 4 to actually do that. I had somebody from Vermont say, oh, I'm too far north, can't possibly do that up here. New Days is in Maine, further north than that guy, in a colder climate, and she absolutely does it. She crushes it. Now, she does start her growing. She's got a big, what we would call a Florida room here. She's got big windows, and she does start it out inside her house. And then she transplants this stuff out. She grows all kind of food, just amazing quantities. I think she actually beats that record. She tells me what all she grows. It's phenomenal. I have to get up there and do a video on her gardening one day. Yeah, it is phenomenal what that lady puts out. So if she can do it, and there's lots of people that do this. I am not saying it's easy. You got to pay a lot of attention to it. It's a lot of work, but it can be done. I mean, they're not vetting. Yeah, New Days, that's the problem. Or the vetting is just paper thin. It's like a stupid little questionnaire. And I got to go back and show y'all that app again a little bit. It's just silliness. Red Cross, another RCC umbrella organization, supported the invasion, as well as George Soros. Oh, yeah. Well, Arnold, given what I was saying in my video the other day, where people get paid $20,000 for going back 10 years on your social media and finding something you said that might have just been passing a joke along. I don't know. Whew. You folks may be heading north. It's a huge profit motive for some people. Whoa, I didn't do that. It's something that knocked me out. Hang on. Get back over here. Ding, 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 ding. Thanks for sharing the links, New Days. Seeing a lot of Chinese man in Canada. Oh, yeah. Well, Trudeau, of course, he's going to invite that stuff in big time. Amen. Don't put your faith in the government. Put your faith in no man. End of Social Security. Oh, you didn't say end it. You just said end of it. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't. It's going to be the end of a lot of social programs because they're all going to be overtaxed. All right, Sunshine. How's it go? Sunshine, CST, Gerald, I guess it's girl. What is CST? You have to tell us here in the end where you're from. We'll do a poll asking everybody's from the from. Canadian refugee escaping communism. That's what we should get. If people are going to be refugees, they ought to be coming down from Canada, especially that new law they're trying to put out there. That's C-63. Guys, y'all need to be calling. My Canadian buddies need to be calling. We get a lot of Canadian buddies in here. You need to be, actually, I think Canada proportionally is represented. If you think about ratio and proportion, the number of people in Canada, 35 million. The United States has got, 10 times that. But I would wager that over 1/10 of my chat, in terms of North American participation, is Canadian. I got a lot of Canadians in here. So let's see here. Money at them, our money supply is shrinking. Oh yeah. Our budget is what, 34 trillion in debt, and they just can't find enough ways to burn it fast enough. It fits with the Cloward and Piven analogy, is to create chaos, to bring everything down, to bring the house down. What's that old order from chaos? Whose moniker is that? Howdy, Greg, and all. Hey, Arthur. Oh, you don't have a bed, Steffords? That's scary. You got an apartment, right? I hope, or something. That's for homeless citizens. He should be getting quite a bit of income from the government. Wonder if he chose to be on the street. I don't look. There's several that are homeless for some reason. The operative word should be, but is he? You would think he'd be drawing disability at least, but how much is he getting? I don't know. Somehow, fortune did not favor him. I think they want a free house. That's probably what they're getting. Vote immediately in Chicago. When's y'all's election day up there? Were y'all weren't part of Super Tuesday? Selling news to government is a lien holder on the title, so if they default, then the government pays it off and gets the house. And what are they going to do? Turn around and rent it to them for free? I don't know. Yeah, I cast mine for Super Tuesday. There we go. Now it's focused. Been focusing so close. Pretty soon, that'll be an Arizona sticker. That's where my vote will count more. Hey, Tiffany, how you doing? The Roman Republic had the same. Oh, yeah. Well, they got worse in Rome. I'll talk about the military. I'm going to do a special video on those grades. It got worse in Rome. It brought Rome down. Of course, Cloward and Piven. That's what their paper in 1966 called for. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. You can find it even on Wikipedia. Tiffany, I got notice of my video taken down. It wasn't my video. They threatened me with a strike. It wasn't my video. Had to work it through X because they denied my appeal. Wow. Wow, Tiffany. So you got a YouTube channel. People go look, check out Tiffany's channel. She's got a YouTube channel. You need to check it out. Suspended a campaign. Yeah. She can unsuspend. That's what I thought. Hey, Felicia, how you doing? We're up in South Cali, U.S. All right. How you doing there, Felicia? Thank you for that thumbs up. We put a thumbs up also down. I suppose you put one in on the channel, thumbs up too. Howard Lewis Mills. Greg, you should get together with your own survival tribe out in the Arizona safety numbers. Well, my neighbors there are already in that category. I got a guy that lives up on the hill above me. You got to drive a half mile down a one-way road to get to my place. I built that road. Actually, you got to go further than that. You got to go over a mile where you pass my Marine buddy who keeps everything lit up on my road. Then on the hill above me, I got Bill on the hill. Nothing gets past him. He knows everything comes in and out. So, and then the property right next to me, when that guy moves, he's a prepper. He helped me get that wall up. So I got a lot of good neighbors. And Cowgirl in Arizona owns a property just up the road from me. Not far at all. She's not living there right now. She's living in Tucson. But she's come up and helped me, her and her husband, a couple of times. So just bagged bird seed and potting soil. Well, that's interesting. Granddad grew tomatoes all the way up till this past year. How old was he? My dad was gardening in his 90s. What did you miss? The 320,000 undocumented immigrants were flown into the United States from parts all over South America and other places from many countries, including the ones that love us so much, like Iran, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua. Oh yeah, what's coming in, guys? What are they letting in? And then I showed you where the sheriff showed. He claims, Sheriff Judd from Polk County, Florida, claims that trafficking is part of it, according to him. I don't know. I'm just reporting what he claims. I'm not saying it is or isn't true, but a sheriff did a bust, and this is the findings he put out there. And of course, all this will go to court. Kind of hard to argue with. Your super chat. Oh, you put a super chat in, Redneck Prepper? Did I miss it? Let me go back up and look to the chat room here. There it is. Salute. Thank you. Thank you, Redneck Prepper. Very good always wins. Yes, in the end, we win. Amen. Sometimes I'm just scrolling, I don't see things, but that should have topped up a bubble up top. I don't know why I didn't see a bubble there. That's usually how I catch those. That or some of you guys got to remind me. I love this fam tribe. There you go, Steffords. Appreciate that. Oh, somehow when I scrolled, I missed a whole bunch of comments. That's how I missed that. I guess I over scrolled. It shot down the bottom too fast. It's still anywhere. You have to figure out how. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of comments here I missed. Anyone grow? Where there's a will, there's a way. My dad always said that. That was a saying my dad always told me when I was a kid. Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah, I've heard something about this red heifer thing. And I heard that it's probably going to happen this year because the first red heifer is going to be too old after this year. So I hear they're building an altar. Still have last year's onions growing cut tops. Hey, that's good. I got garlic coming up. Lee's live? I don't Lee's live all the time. I don't know. Remonetize this channel? Well, he's gonna have to quit playing all that copyright songs and stuff if he gets remonetized. He plays tons of stuff, playing videos from other channels and other news sources. How do you do that and be monetized? That's like I got spanked because I used a small piece of a video, which supposedly, if it's small and you're editorializing over, it's considered fair use. But I just had a small snippet of a video from a movie that's way past the copyright era in the United States. Well, it turns out in Britain, the copyright is longer. It was produced in Britain. But oh yeah, I had to take it off. I had to erase it from my video or challenge it. If you challenge a copyright striking, you're in serious kimchi on YouTube. Serious kimchi. So yeah, we need to help the homeless first. If he gets remonetized and don't change his format, I don't see how he can pass. If he does, he's got some inside thing running. I don't know how he do that. Cloward and Pivot strategy is based on Linden's paper on how to destroy capitalism. It's also where Paul Harvey got, if I was the devil. There you go. I did show you that if I was the devil, but I didn't play it because I was afraid it would be a copyright strike. You do not have to have the high ground. Well, did you hear that Russia and China are wanting to go in together to put a nuclear power plant on the moon? Oh, what the heck? Sheriff Grady Judd yesterday. Yeah, there you go, New Days. That's it. That's it. Jason Patton's granddad fought in the Civil War. Wow. You want to hear on the DJ night where he played requests like 4 hours straight? Yeah, you can't play all that music. I mean, if I am walking in the flea market or somewhere downtown and somebody's playing music in the background, I can't even hear it, I'll get hit. That's why I quit. That's why I quit doing videos like that on this channel. It's just, I have to go way out of the way, go around them, or sit there and hit the buttons on my phone. Problem is, yeah, somebody just hit the mute button on your phone. They catch it before I hear it. I don't even hear it. I don't even hear it. And they hit me for it. It's like, really? And sometimes, and it will sometimes be like at the farmer's market, it was never music from the original performer. It'd be somebody up singing it, and they would hit that too. So really? Wow. Oh yeah, you only need reactors up there if you're going to build a serious base. But the moon is the ultimate high ground. I've been planning to do. I got the basis. I've started putting together a presentation like 2 years ago. I just hadn't had time to finish it on what a threat that is. The threat is enormous. It's like you can dominate the world easily. We can't afford to let somebody else have a base like that before we're up there to make sure they don't deny us access and shut down everything else. My dad was in World War II, and he admired Patton a lot. He really admired Patton. So, no, I don't really watch him anymore. I have some, call a little bit, but it's usually the same stuff. Everything, exactly, Jason. Put a mass driver on the moon, you got a rapid rate machine gun type. You could send out projectiles the size of telephone poles. You could smelt linear regolith down to the iron and pop these things out. Boom, 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 boom. Coming into Earth and the moon at 25,000 miles per hour. Energy is 1/2 mass times velocity squared. The velocity is the operative point in that equation. According to my calculations, I need to go back and take another look at it. I calculated it would be roughly like equivalent of 7 tons of TNT. The V2 rocket carried 1 ton of TNT and would take out a city block in London. Some people equated it to nukes. I haven't found where it would be nuclear in terms of energy, but it'd be very powerful blast. In terms of conventional blast, beyond conventional blast. But you could raster scan the area with these, just like machine gun fire, and just nonstop. You could take out cities, no radiation. You can just move your troops in afterwards, and there's nothing there but rubble. They can hold anybody hostage. So if you don't agree to our terms, you'll just cease to exist. Automatic bunker busters. My grandmother said when Hitler came through Paris, they were made to wave and clap for joy or else. Yeah, false joy. Yeah, I think some of the Uyghurs over in China are made to express some false joy in some videos. Because they're definitely not having a lot of joy in Xinjiang, the territory that the Uyghurs are from. Hey, Chewy, how you doing? High-tech version of Wile E. Coyote, Moonless Giant Slingshot. Yeah, rods of God is exactly what we're talking about, but coming in with a lot more velocity than you come in from low Earth orbit. Now, they might put a rocket motor or something on to give it even more assist. And my calculation didn't just went to the get into the atmosphere. Now, the atmosphere put up some shape, but very little on something the shape of a telephone pole. You'd only lose 3% of your mass. So you could put a heat shield on, just a blade of heat shield, put a little regolith on the front of it, end of it. That would wear away, and the iron would come right straight through. Or just make it all iron. Wouldn't matter. It's coming through. Yikes. The YT spell checker's gone wacko. Change the stuff when you press send. Oh. Wouldn't let me type creek. Changed it to creed. Okay. We got 65 in the room now. Oh, the math doesn't work for nuclear level explosion. No, that's what I found. Some people said it'd be nuclear, but still be devastating. I mean, we're talking a weapon that, look, if they were on the moon with a mass driver and you decided you're on Earth, you want to send a force up to take it out, the Chinese could see you launch, or whoever's got this weapon up there. they could say, I got something coming. Yeah, okay. They'd have breakfast, lunch, and dinner and go to bed, wake up next day and look at it. Yeah, it's coming. Have breakfast, lunch, and dinner and go to bed again. Go and say, yeah, it's coming. Then, about supper time, they throw a bucket of sand at it, and with the velocity it'd be coming in at, take it out. Anything you send it to them. It takes 3 days to get to the moon. So they have all kind of leisure at their disposal before they decide to actually take it out, if they so chose. They'd probably take it out earlier than that, but just saying that if you've got the right kind of facilities on the moon, nobody's going to take it out by shooting something at it from here on Earth or even from geosynchronous orbit. You basically got to be on the moon or in orbit around it to deal with something. If you're in orbit, you're vulnerable to any ground-based facility. It'd be like troops trying in the medieval era trying to attack a fortress. It wasn't a very profitable thing to take on, but when you're a spacecraft, you're very vulnerable. So that'd just be too easy to take you out. I heard about the moon nuclear plant. I don't know if you watch my Galactic Greg's videos. I showed you that the Chinese are working on a 1 megawatt space nuclear reactor. Oh yeah, that's a lot of power. That's 10 times more power than the International Space Station has. That's a lot of power. When you look at the moon, I see great depth in the Sea of Tranquility. It's not more of a varied depth in the Grand Canyon. Oh yeah. I heard about them years ago. What's that? We need Gerald Bull's design. There you go, Gerald Bull. I used to work with a guy that used to work for Gerald Bull. For those that don't know, Gerald Bull designed the largest artillery piece ever. He welded 2 guns together. The program was called HARP for that thing was up in Alaska. They welded 2 big naval guns together, and they shot a projectile that went into space, come back down. It was the first cannon-fired ballistic space projectile. Then he went to work for Saddam Hussein, building the mother of all guns. Mossad took him out. Gerald Bull was a Canadian, of Canadian origin. He worked for the U.S. Navy for a long time. My buddy that worked for him was an aerospace engineer who was at Fort Greely, Alaska, as the head of the tech division, civilian. Jerry Barger. Jerry Barger became the mayor of Delta Junction. His wife had a real estate company there. And I called and talked to him a couple times after I left Alaska. He used to come in and just sit at my desk and talk. I was all interested in space. He was an aerospace engineer. I did not know. He came in always very unassuming. I found out later he was like a millionaire. I didn't even know that. He was worth like $10 million way back in the early 80s. That was some money. Delta Junction actually had more millionaires per capita than, Wichita Falls, Texas. A lot of places like that. That would surprise me to find out. Did you miss my question? Restate it there, Lord. May have. Yeah, you want to shoot satellites into space. That was his goal. He wanted to put satellites in space. And there was another guy was wanting to come up with this gas gun. I don't say his name was, I don't think it was David Hunter. There was a guy at the Canadian Space Agency named David Hunter, but it's really close to that guy's name. I think his last name was Hunter. He was working for one of the NASA facilities in the West where they were doing light gas guns. I think Ames was doing some work on that at one time. I know Ames has a light gas gun facility, but they were wanting to. They're still selling large parcels in Delta Junction. That's interesting. I got to go up there again one day. After I get settled down, I think I'm going to take a trip north if I can get through Canada again. I drove through Canada once from Alaska down. Went through the Yukon Territory, cut the upper northeast corner of British Columbia into Alberta, and then back down into British Columbia, down the Fraser River Canyon, into Vancouver, turned south. I drove down the Mojave Desert, turned left. I drove to this giant crack in the ground, and then I turned south, and I drove toward the cactuses were standing up like this with big arms in the air. And then I turned left and drove to Alabama. Pentagon. So I almost stayed up there. And I was back then you could homestead up there. I mean, by homestead, not just build a homestead. You could actually homestead land. The government would give you parcels of land if you would live on it with your family for like 7 years. And there was a place called the Robinson River that was available on. I was really tempted to stay up there, very tempted. And when I drove through that coming out of Alaska, I drove across the Robinson River and looked at that area. And I'm like, oh my God, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Go visit Nate. Yeah, I may have to do that. That'd be a hoot. Yeah, visit Nate. That would be a hoot. So it's quite an idea there, Tiffany. You would have drove right past my house. I might have, because I went down the Alaskan Canadian Highway, the Alcan, to Dawson City, and I turned right instead of left to go straight to Alabama. So hopefully the hypersonic, yeah, hopefully it's not from Boeing. So everything they make is junk these days. Anyway, so for those just joining, somebody was asking what they missed. I'm going to do just a quick review. Let's see here. Ding, 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 ding. Let's go back over just real fast. Bing, 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 bing. Where's it at? Got something over my stuff here. So we started out talking about meet the terrorists next door. Welcome by who? And then we went in here and we talked about the border crisis that, according to the government website for the House, the GOP, that's the GOP.gov, which makes an official government website. Joe Biden secretly flew 320,000 illegal immigrants in the United States. Now, the Biden administration's had to admit this due to a FOIA request. Musk says it's worse than 9/11. Of course, I said that's a good reason for you to be growing your own food, guys. And then the Hindustan Times said, worst President Biden. It's coming out of India. Of course, we're quoting the T-Man here. But yeah, look, guys, the Indians are laughing. This is also from India, Times of India. The Indians are laughing at the United States, guys. Wow. And here's the app that Customs and Border Patrol put out. Yeah, there you go. Lockheed Martin built some really good interceptors. They were a prime contractor when I was an Army civil servant. After I got out of the Army, when I was in college, I worked for the ARIS project office, and the ARIS program, which was our ground-based interceptor at the time, had Lockheed Martin as the primary contractor. Lockheed Martin also did the Holman overlay experiment, which did a successful intercept in space. Anyway, CBP, Customs Border Patrol One app. Follow these easy steps. Download the mobile app. Come in here and apply, and you get a free plane ticket to the United States, courtesy Uncle Sugar. And this was talking about what had flown in as of September of last year. Well, the total now is 320,000. Anyway, and this is the Florida Sheriff Judd from Polk County, Florida, Grady Judd, saying that he did a bunch of arrests and found that he claims trafficking, human trafficking. I don't know, guys. Scary stuff. But so why are our vets homeless when we're throwing so much money at these guys? Oh yeah, look at all. Oh yeah, interest-free homes. What's the interest rates now? Undocumented immigrants could get interest-free homes under CA bill. I'm sure you guys in California love putting your tax money on that, right? California's put over 22, almost $23 billion last year alone supporting these guys, whilst these guys are on the street. But, you know, we got to watch what we talk about here. Oh, yeah, more news got taken down. Yeah, this one's limited ads, which means it basically won't show any hardly ever. All right, that's just a quick review. Oh yeah, guys, I get nothing for this. I want to share it with you. I don't know why it didn't come up earlier. I meant to show you guys this. Check this out, Patriot Switch. This is some way to support Americans, the companies that aren't part of the woke establishment. And here they're talking about how our purchases make a difference. See how all these companies are, all these little companies here are controlled by certain big companies. Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, Unilever, PepsiCo, Kellogg's, Mars, General Foods. I don't know what that is. Mondelez, I don't know. Johnson & Johnson, Kraft Heinz, Nestle. They control all these companies. Most of your food and cleaning supplies, most of the junk you buy at the grocery stores. And I say junk. The illusion of choice. Where does your money go? Anyway, that's something to think about, guys. These guys offer products that's not part of that system. So you might want to check it out. I got no connection with these people. Just like to show you guys some alternative. Because I tell you guys, one of the most important ways to vote is to vote with your dollar. It's how you spend your money. Do you want to empower the people that hate America? Or do you want to spend your money on people that love our country? I always tell you to go shop with your local artisans as much as possible. Well, we didn't go into the earthquake news. Somehow I went straight to Wendy. How did that happen? I missed some stuff here. All right, Lord Red, you put a comment in here. I've missed it. Where say, have you had time to verify, research that? Now, what is that, Lord Dragon Red? Verify what? The numbers now. The president admitted the 320,000. Is in terms of what the sheriff is claiming, I don't know. That should come out in court. All right, so, okay, Lord Dragon Red, I am passionate about my epiphany vision over the EMP lithium battery. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that. I could do a whole video on that. That's what you're asking. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. In fact, that's a good time to stop the share here again. Bang. I've often told you guys, it's the doctrine for China and Russia to strike first with an EMP. I've also taught you many times that one of the chief weapons experts, nuclear weapons experts, foreign policy experts, and historian, former member of the CIA, who was very much a anti-deep state individual, the late, great Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, who I've had on my channel here many times. He taught us, oh yeah, I'm the Arizona State Director now, I was the Alabama State Director, of the EMP Task Force of National Homeland Security, an organization that he founded. And he taught us that Russia considers an EMP electronic warfare, not nuclear war, electronic war, because the nuke doesn't hit the United States, but the energy field does. And it affects our electrical systems, our electronics. And that's it. You can absolutely bring the United States to its knees with an EMP attack. I mean, you could essentially end this country as we know it. North Korea can do it. Iran may be able to do it now. Hey, Jan, how you doing? Thank you for, Jan mails me super chats. Salute to Jan. Thank you, Jan. And I've done videos on Green Gregs where I've said that an EMP is worse than a full-scale nuclear war, because the Congressional EMP Task Force reported that 9 out of 10 people would no longer be with us after 1 year after an EMP attack. And I've gone in great details explaining where they come from with that. But I've also gone in great details, and Dr. Pry agreed with me that number was optimistic. A lot of people dismissed that number, but no, they weren't counting several other factors in that assessment. They were not at that point looking at what could happen at the spent fuel rod pools at the nuclear power plants. They were figuring the farmers were growing their own food. No, they didn't even consider how bad it would be with agriculture. I've done videos on that too. That's an optimistic number, very optimistic. One of the primary things they assessed in that would take people out would be disease that would spread because you don't have any sanitation, especially in the cities, anywhere where they got, where your toilets aren't going to flush, guys, because you won't even get fresh water pumped into your house. Water pumps require electricity. You're going to have all those diseases they knew way back in spades, diphtheria, and I don't know, all those diseases that go with unclean water. And they'll spread person to person or communicable. Once they get started, they spread like crazy. There's a whole smorgasbord of unclean water diseases. They figured these diseases would be taking people out in droves. That was the main factor in their calculation. You're not going to have, there's be no garbage workers coming to pick up garbage. You won't have fresh water flowing in your house. Toilets won't flush, and you won't have fresh water at your faucet. Yeah, probably in just a matter of weeks. Look what happened to in New Orleans in 3 days. The place went crazy when Katrina hit. It only took 3 days for pandemonium. Pandemonium. Third World War. The third world will be better than us because the third world lives this way already, pretty much. All our systems require electrical power. Your bank account, your cell phones, telephones, internet. Everything in the United States these days is transacted over the internet. You can't pump fuel, can't pump water. Our entire infrastructure collapses. The nation's in starvation mode. What's left of any government is going to have its hands full dealing with the catastrophe across the United States. They will not be able to deal with it. And the troops abroad are going to be wanting to come home because they're going to know mom and the kids are in grave trouble back home, or husband and kids, or whatever the case may be. Mama and brothers and sisters, they're going to know their family is going to be in dire straits. Their heart is not going to be in doing whatever they'd be set to do overseas. And there's been cases in the past where people abandon their posts in times like this. In fact, I think 50% of the police force in New Orleans abandoned their post by day 3. They went home to take care of the families. When Bubba down the streets kicking the door in back home, where are you going to be? Diphtheria, yeah, amongst many, typhoid fever, diphtheria, all kinds of diseases will be spreading like wildfire. The city is going to be a stinking cesspool with no food. Those people are going to be pouring out of the cities. Like if you've ever been down south and seen a fire ant nest, give one a kick and see what happens. Or give a kick to a hornet's nest. Yeah, see what happens. They're going to come pouring out. And they're going to scour the countryside. That's why you really need to have communities. That's why you really need to go to survivaltribenetwork.com. Start forming your survival tribes, guys. Get Marburg, all kinds of diseases will just be. And we now know that the Chinese have developed a new form of the bug that they've tested on humanized mice that are 100% fatal within 7 days. For 3 days, that mouse is fine. It can spread that disease, and then all at once, boom, it's gone. Why would they develop something like that? This is in the same place that some people allegedly believe something else got loose. Now there's all kind of claims that are backing that up. At one time, if you mentioned that, you would be threatened to non-existence on the interweb. You know what I mean? Platforms like this. The fact checkers. Oh, they had all the answers. Problem is, all their answers just didn't seem to pan out, did they? There seems to be a lot of evidence now to the contrary. I still got to watch what I say. Yeah, you need to be in rural areas, but you also need to, the further you are away from population centers, the better off you are. The more preppers you have around you, the better off you are. That's why you need to share my videos, get your friends and family to know that they got to prepare. That's why before I did my series on wild edibles and medicinals, the first video I did was on water purification and sanitation. That's two different things. I covered that in great depth. I've seen videos that went less depth on that, got 1 million views. I didn't get 1 million views. But, that should be, I got, what, 60, 67, 68 subscribers on, 1,000 subscribers on here. They got maybe 10,000 views, 11 maybe on that video. That video should get a lot more views. So y'all need to consider that. Hard to find. Think about the different type. Yeah. Now go the next step. Lord's talking about lithium-ion batteries. Lithium-ion battery is an explosive. I've written review item discrepancies against their use on the space launch system, and really took a lot of people by surprise. I had a team of 40 people stepping and fetching for a year or two to try to answer my rids. And they were just trying to find some way to cover up to do what they wanted to do anyway. Justification. They have metal oxide cores in them. Your cobalt and such. And there's enough oxidizer inside that package to consume. The electrolyte is highly flammable and highly toxic. Just leaking electrolyte creates problems, even if you don't have a flame. If the battery gets overheated, the short circuit could cause that. There's many causes. The dendrites that can form inside the cell. The cell can be sitting on your shelf and go bad and combust. There's enough oxidizer built inside it. Don't even need the oxygen in the room, that it would become a blowtorch or a little bomb. And you can set off the adjacent cells around it. That's what you call thermal runaway, where one failure creates another failure, and a whole bank of these things can go off. They can produce, one of these little batteries can produce 6 liters of hot gas. That's a lot of pressure. That's explosive. That is an explosive. So it's a little bomb, a little rocket motor, a little bomb. Now, their susceptibility to EMP, just a little cell by itself, I don't know, but your cells are connected to circuitry. If the circuitry picks it up and puts enough voltage spike into that battery cell and causes overcharge, it could cause potentially a thermal runaway. So what he's worried about is that you'll have explosions, your cell phone will blow up, a lot of devices, your laptop might blow up, explode, catch fire, burn the house down, create a big fire on your person if you got the cell phone in a pocket. That's possible. In this case, you'd be worried about the E2 waveform. No, the E18 waveform, which is that short, quick burst of energy that comes through from the EMP. The E3 will be picked up by the long transmitters. So it'll be the E1 waveform that would impact these kind of devices, your smaller electronics. So there is some risk there. I don't know what, nobody's tested that to my knowledge, so I can't speak to testing of that particular thing. But the idea that this could be a risk is real. Now, if you are connected to the grid or have long enough conductors to pick up the E3, like the wires going into your house, then that's something else to worry about. Maybe your wires would burn, just like the telegraph stations back during the Carrington event. because you get wires running all through your walls. Oh yeah. And here's how that can, but most of the E3 comes up through the ground. Oh yeah. So all these devices that are protecting your home because they're shutting stuff to ground, that no worky for E3. Explain to me how that works when you got a waveform come up through the ground. How they talk about protecting the big ground transformers by putting a series of shunts on the center tap to the ground. There's certain other devices that are real popular, being promoted by some channels here on the platform. That, oh yeah, and their whole shunt is something no bigger than a wire that controls your mouse, which is not able to carry much current. Of course, it's not necessarily a lot of current from E1, but E3 is different. So you tell me how that's supposed to work. Just somebody explain to me how that's supposed to work. Protect your home for 42 instances. Yeah, right. They know there'll be nobody left to sue them if that happens. Just explain that one. I just want to hear that explained. Fire in the aisle. They tried to pour water and stop. Oh, you can't stop it with water, Steffers. Not a lithium-ion fire. Water is not going to help. Yeah, it takes certain chemicals to do that. Yeah, the fire of a lithium-ion battery. Yeah, that is like it would burn underwater. You know, it's just like cannon fuse. And when I was a kid, I used to like to get these M80s. They were a quarter stick of dynamite. I used to buy. Remember the big brown? Now I see brown grocery bags now. They're only about yay tall, but when I was a kid, they were real tall. You know, really big. I used to buy a whole grocery bag full of M80s when I was a teenager, like 16-year-old. And I'd smoke a cigar and go down the road and chuck them out in the ditches. I didn't put them in mailboxes. I did not destroy property. But it was nothing more fun to see a bunch of people standing in the front yard and you chuck one of these out in the ditch in front of where they're standing, out of harm's way. But boy, they'd jump. They'd jump. Yeah, bomb doesn't work. No, it takes special chemicals to take that kind of fire out. It takes special equipment, and the electrolyte is toxic, very toxic. So all things, if it don't burn, it's toxic. So, and if you just try to contain it in a box, it'll blow the box up. So, and there's engineers that don't understand that. Like some payload engineers. I wrote the RIDS because they said, well, we got it evacuated in a box so it won't burn because there's no air in there. I said, wrong answer. Well, we got the box totally sealed, so it won't escape. Wrong answer. This thing will create enough light. It's going to blow your box up, create shrapnel. You have FOD going throughout the spacecraft. Right underneath, well, the device is pointed right at the engine for the service module on the Orion capsule, well, right below the Orion capsule. Service module is built by the European Space Agency, by the way. This was the payloads. They tried to make it easier for the payloads to come in. They weighed a bunch of stuff because they just assumed this stuff was safe. And I hit them hard with that. Well, they know better now. But now they had to go green. And we have to come up with a green thrust vector control. We can't use the old propellants to run the auxiliary power unit. So they come up with these huge packs of lithium-ion batteries. Oh my God. You're going to put that on a rocket and shake it? It's got solid rocket boosters on it and you shake those things? Me no likey. They emptied 2 fire. No. Well, they're lucky if they got it out with fire extinguishers. You got to have the right kind, the right chemicals in it. Water, no worky. Yeah, I've seen where fire crews showed up with their water wagons trying to put out some of these cars that caught fire. And that no worky. I have 2,500 lumen headlights with lithium-ion batteries that can recharge via power points on computer. Should I remove those batteries, dispose of them? Well, Rodney, you better think about it because those things they're bad news. When they go, they're bad. They're bad. Yeah. Yeah, the real popular cell is the 18650. and they got them in spades. Now Tesla come up with a newer version. Wasn't 18650? They started out with 18650s, but they come up with a bigger version. I forget what the number nomenclature on that one was. I didn't know. I forgot now. Used to go fishing in the in the Potomac River. Well, I love those things because you'd light them and you throw them in a mud hole full of water. And it's got a little piece of cannon fuse on it. That thing would burn down underwater. That's why I mentioned cannon fuse. And that's what got me on the M80s. And it would explode and kick a column of water like 10 foot in the air. I would laugh. One of the funniest things I ever saw was somebody in high school, when I was in high school, got a whole bunch of those, and they lit cigarettes and put them on the fuse, and they distributed in bushes all around the campus, and they got away from it before they started going off, and it sounded like a war going off on campus. Boom, 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 all over the place. Man, I was laughing my head off. It was no threat, but it was funny as all get out. These things were blowing up all over the place, all around the campus. Boom, 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 boom. I thought it was hilarious. And they totally got away with it, whoever did that. I love a good prank. It was just a prank. No damage was done. Now, what I didn't like was some people put them in mailboxes. That's property damage. I've never condoned that and never will. Knowing the people need energy, they weaponize what people need. Well, that's a weapon. An 18650 can be a weapon. If you put a bunch of current into it, or you put a heating element on it, get it hot, boom. Well, the more cells you got, the worse it can be. One cell can go off, and like I said, it's going to be a blowtorch. Now, the ones in your cell phone aren't 18650s. They fold the cells in that. So how they make a cell is like an 18650. It's actually a coil. You have the anode and cathode with a little separator between them. And between the separator and anode and cathode, they got the electrolyte in the middle. And they make a long strip of this stuff, and they roll it up and put it in a little canister that becomes an 18650. An 18650 is, say, a little bigger than a AAA battery. I may have to show y'all one of the videos soon. But, oh yeah, I've been doing a little archaeological, before we get into the weather, I've been doing a little archaeological dig, guys. And some people, they got trouble with things you say. They're just, especially the people in Canada that are sensitive to that C36, 63. Watch it. If you're a snowflake here, you might melt. Caution, snowflakes. And some of my buddies are afraid they're going to fall over the edge. And the one that fits best for me and my channel is oh yeah, there's this checklist I should show you guys sometime. I found all this stuff, done some digging here as I'm going through a lot of my stuff. Before leaving home, don't leave home without it. Here's your checklist: keys, wallet, cell phone. Well, our good friend Rodney is a master at making. Another one. Your nug, your backup nug, and your kibble dispensers. And like I said, don't forget your second one, or your third one. Rodney made all these, by the way. He's a master with these. And I even have a fourth one. This is a Marine Corps version. Some of y'all may know this one. K-bar. And then there's the nugs. out there put 600 amp lithium battery on caravans matched with 1200 watts of solar. Oh, and the caravan vans? Is that what you're talking about? So yeah, I carry my knives. They come in handy. One time we had a 4th of July party and we ordered a whole box of fireworks from a fireworks manufacturer. And during the party, someone threw their punk in the box. Oh boy. I had a daughter that set off an artillery shell on the ground. She just thought it was a firecracker. Oh my God. I didn't see her doing that. That blew my mind. That was a scary moment. Hey, Carol, how you doing? So anyway, let's get into the weather real quick. Oh my gosh, it's 4:11. Well, I'm just gonna do a quick through. We've spent a lot of time chatting. How long have we been online here? 90 minutes, hour and a half. I meant to keep this short tonight. Please evaluate what batteries you have around and isolate them to reduce risk. They're bombs. Amen. They are. And every enemy has the key. Yeah, just imagine it. Get an MP and suddenly you get all these little explosions going off and fires. Yeah, the MP task force did not account for that either. They were looking at diphtheria and typhus and all those little waterborne bugs. So, hey, cowgirl, how you doing? Time to feed the animals. Amen. Good to see you. All righty, so we'll go into the weather. Yeah, having animals. That's a good one right there. Cowgirl in Arizona calls them walk-in refrigerators. As long as they're alive, it's all fresh killed. So that's a good point. So let's go back in this shirt real quick. We're not going to be here but a little bit. Earthquakes. Well, the people down in Puerto Rico are dancing. Looks like Nicaragua or Panama. Or is this Costa Rica? 5.7. Up here in Washington State, 3.0. Chewy's worried about Washington State. He's thinking this Cascadia subduction zone may be on the verge of going off. We got a couple down there in Mexico. Let's see. Nellis Air Force Base. Well, that's interesting. It's a pretty good one right here off Alaska, 4.8. False Pass. Oh, we got a recent one down here. That's a new one. 4.7. Then Indonesia. Look here in the Philippines. Are rocking over there. 5.1. There's about 3 of them over here. 4.8. 4.7. 5.0 in the Solomon Islands. This Tonga region where that big volcano went off. Carol! Salute, Carol. Thank you very much. Much obliged, much appreciated there, Carol. Thank you for the super chat. That's Xinjiang here. Kashgar, China. Those people don't want to be in China. All right. We looked at that. We looked at space weather. Somehow missed that. Thank you, Carol. Oh, yeah, we didn't go to the asteroids. We had one that slipped in underneath the geosynchronous asteroids back on the 4th of March. It was only 5 meters inside. The velocity was only 8.6. Yeah, I got to wonder if this one might have been a rocket body. When they're small and come in that low, I worry about it. There's nothing that we know of coming up that's coming in soon. That one was just discovered. Let's look at the orbit on it real quick. I think it's not going to be very elongated, close to Earth orbit. Oh, no, that does go. It goes out to Mars. Maybe an asteroid, a small one. Probably not a rocket part. All right. Back to weather. Looks like a lot of rain up in the Northeast. You must be getting some weather. Looks like yellow snow new days up in Maine, maybe. You're right at the cusp of snow. You're at 34 according to this. This is a little bit early. Let me bring the time up now. About the same. A lot of storms off Boston. Roanoke, Virginia's 48. Birmingham, or as Colonel Cole calls it, Bullettown, 50. Hunts Patch is 50. 52 in Lewisburg. Yeah, it's kind of warm here right now. Planet Houston, 62. I saw 80s down there last weekend. I'll probably be down there again this weekend. I hope I can get my vehicle. Dallas, Fort Worth area, 68. Oklahoma, Tulsa's 57. Oklahoma City's 59. 50s throughout there. 40s in New Mexico. Sholo is 34. Snowflake's 34. Holbrook 39. Sedona 41. Flagstaff is 30. Down in Tucson, we're close to Cowgirls, 46. Tucson's double nickel. Lost Angels is 46. Lost Wages is 53. Come back up. San Jose, 48. Willow Creek, 30. West Wokestan here. Eugene is 28. 37. Oh, yeah. Coast is a little warmer. Inland's cooler. 21 over here in Princeville. Washington State, Seattle, 34. Why it's the bluest skies you ever seen in Seattle? It rains up there a lot. Easton, 16. Yeah, they got some chilly weather to get inland. 20s in Idaho, and got some 5 degrees in Libby, Montana. Great Falls is 17. Now for Brian Prendy, we'll have to go past over here in Minnesota. Got some snow up in there. Got 14 up north and 32 down in Brainerd. So you go from 32 to 14 degrees. Moose Jaw, -4. That's important to know, the temperature in Moose Jaw. Beverly Hillbillies is always going to send people to Moose Jaw, Alaska. I never found a Moose Jaw in Alaska, but you got one here in Saskatchewan. That's Nate territory, Canadian Prepper. Arnold Schmidt, you got temperatures in the Fahrenheit range from 7 down here, 12 down here in Charleston, -1 in Red Deer, -6 in Edson, -2 in Slave Lake. Fort Nelson, I believe I've been through Fort Nelson. 7 degrees over in British Columbia. You got a lot of snow in British Columbia. The 20s down here on Vancouver Island. Vancouver's 26. Up to Alaska, Sitka 35. Juneau 25. Wasilla's 26. Anchorage is 26. Seward 17. Homer 28. Valdez 25. Cordova 19. Healy is 10, and Delta Junction is 12. Fairbanks is 14. All right, we got to check out Dead Horse. Dead Horse is -28. There you go. Now we're talking wintertime. Barra's -19. -24 over there. What Hope 12. Almost 21. Nothing on Big and Little Diomede. That's where you can stand and see Russia from Alaska. So far, coldest temperature is in Alaska. What we're going to see in Siberia. So far, Alaska still takes it. Let me back out a little bit. Well, looks like Alaska's colder than Siberia right now. That's unusual. Let's go down under. A lot of rain. Weepaw, 84. Weepaw's warmed up by 2 degrees. She's about 82 in Weepaw. Weepaw don't vary a lot. So this is Queensland, where Rodney's at, somewhere in Queensland, which is huge. Queensland is big. 84, 77, 75. Alice Springs is 91. Summertime is getting away from there now. Let's see, Warburton. A lot of times you see hundreds there, 71 there. All right, 82 over here. Perth is 95. Capital City is 68. Canberra, 73 in Sydney. Melbourne, 64. Tasmania is in 57 on the bottom. At Hobart, 60 on the top. And New Zealand, Dunedin is 55. Christchurch is 66. That was a big variation. 62 in Auckland. New Plymouth, 61. Walton, 62. Well, Indonesia's got a lot of storms. That's pretty normal. Snow in the Himalayas. Oops, I got to skip forward there. Boing. Let's go back now. We go to Europe. War zone. Kyiv, 30. Moscow, 26. And we usually get people from England in here a lot. Hull is 46. London's 46. Ireland, Dublin, 44. 50 in Dingle. Glasgow, Scotland's 41. Inverness is 43. And we get somebody from Norway in here pretty often. So Norway is sitting at 32 in Oslo. Here on the coast, you got 37 here. Going up to 20s, 30s. Yeah, it's not too bad there. Now the Russian military area here, Murmansk, is at 34. Got a lot of military bases, naval and Air Force bases right here in this area. The Russians do, and it's snowing there. All righty, that's around the world real fast. Do a quick playthrough here. Here they're talking about storms in Texas sometime coming up soon. I don't see them on here though. Missouri's getting a lot. Kansas City, Oklahoma. Oh, there's the storms coming out. Oh, Mississippi coming my way Friday. I'm gonna have to drive through some of that. Oh yes, Friday. A lot of storms. Saturday, okay. I'll wait till Saturday, they'll be cleared out. I'll probably be heading Saturday, going back down here, Planet Houston. But for those that are wondering, the fires in Texas are up here. This is around Amarillo. It's over 500 miles from here. It's actually less distance from where I'm at to Lake Michigan. From where I'm at to Lake Michigan is a shorter distance than from Houston to the fires up here. Just to put it in perspective for those that are wondering. Oh, West Wokastan's about to get hammered by more rain and snow. Boy, imagine when spring breakup comes. These mountains have got some serious snow in them. Look at it. You're going to be getting more next week, Tuesday. Probably more snow. Nevada, Utah, those of you that are in Utah. That'll be coming to Colorado, Jan. All right, Jan, Wednesday, Colorado. You'll get a lot of snow. Utah, snow, Colorado will be snowing heavy. It looks like a good bit of it. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You're just going to keep getting snow, Jan. Oh, there's some storms in North Texas and Oklahoma next Thursday next week. Oh, that's a pretty serious system there, Oklahoma. It may have tornadoes coming out, and then we break up in these little cells. You got to worry about that. Houston the following Friday on the 15th. Down to Houston, Louisiana. All right, let's go back here. It's getting way out for forecast. What we didn't look at was Colorado earlier. Let's go back to right about now. Denver's at 32. There's a lot of temperature variations in Colorado due to the elevation changes. Vail is 3. Pueblo is 39. Colorado Springs is 30. Denver's 32. I've seen it snow in Denver on Memorial Day. But I've seen people ice fishing in Alaska in May. All right. We pay a lot of attention to Utah. Provo's at 34. Salt Lake City is 34. Ogden, 23. I spent a fair bit of time in Ogden. Richfield, 17 right now. That's pretty chilly. Aspen is 12, but Vail, 3 degrees right now. Flagstaff is still 30. All righty, guys. Hey, Jason, how you doing? That little square over there where Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle comes together is an interesting pieces of ground. You can experience 4 natural disasters a day there. Oh, my Lord. 4 natural disasters a day. How's the fires doing? What's the latest on the fires? What have you heard? You know about here? I see Sylvester Stallone and his wife had enough of Los Angeles and they're selling and moving to Florida. He's been outspoken on the woke people there. Yeah, good for him. How did he stand it this long? All righty, guys. Stop the share. It is almost 4:30 my time in the morning. I got to get in bed. I haven't had much sleep lately. Tried to get in bed earlier, or well, I tried to sleep last night. And I just had too many things worried me. I wasn't able to sleep. All right, folks. Tell us where you're from. We're going to call it a night. Where are you from, folks? I know where Green Country Agroforestry is from. Been there. In this place at least 2 or 3 times, was it twice at least? Greg, you have a lot of knowledge on EMP. I am pressed hard, so no point in me trying to get guidance out. I wouldn't think you could do a video warning this much better. Yeah, I've done several. All right. At Eureka, Colorado, Jan, Coman, VA, Virginia, Arkansas, Gypsy Lizzie. It's always been rough living. Fires normal, earthquakes normal, tornadoes normal. Fires this year are worse than usual, but not beyond the norm. Okay, that's good to know. Northern Maine, Montgomery, Alabama, Carol, all right. Just sometimes called Montgomery. Called Huntsville, Hunts Patch, Tiffany, Copperopolis, Northern California. Twice it is muggy and no fun to be camping outside. Yeah, it was muggy my first time I came. It was hot. It was hot that August coming up there. Ooh, I nearly got heat exhaustion. Hillsboro, West Wokistan. All right, Chewy. Northern Illinois. Have a great day. Northern Illinois, Pete. All right, Pete. Joy, what's up, big dog? Are old cars EMP proof? You could have problems with spark plug wires, maybe, but just have another set. I'd get those that are anti-noise makers. Might be better. Have you some spare ones? Maybe some spare points if they're really old. Spare coil. Southwest Ontario, Canada. Joe Michaels. All right. Winning Liquid, Ontario. Karen from Glen Allen, Virginia, and here now, usually California lately. A lot of rain. Yeah, it's a lot of rain lately. Well, there won't be no drought in California this year, I hope. I'm expecting a lot of flooding when spring break comes. All right. Guys, let's do a prayer for Granny Lana. She is not here with us. I think she is sick. She's having a tough time. Let's do a prayer for my friend. Well, we got a lot of people having some troubles now. A lot of folks. Let's do a prayer for Jan, Colorado Jan. South Florida. All right, prayer. 5 things in the panhandle: grass, cattle, cowboys, oil rigs, and roughnecks. Anything else there is temporary. All right. They're reading Colorado Jenny up. She's having some health issues. Still prayer for Dennis, my friend Dennis. He's recovering from stroke. Let's just do a quick little prayer. It's not a religious channel. I'm here to tell you how to pray. We'll just pray in silence. And let's pray for world peace. And let's pray that things don't go crazy out of hand with sleeper cells in this country. Let's pray we don't get an EMP attack. Well, thank you, New Days. Yeah, I'm in a tight spot, so I wouldn't mind a prayer myself. All right, folks. I do believe in a greater creator and the power of prayer, but I won't go any further than that. Like I said, it's not a religious channel, but we are family, and family prays for family. Amen, Rodney. Let's do a quick little prayer session. Go ahead. All righty. Amen. Amen. TikTok. I bet they don't like it, Patio. All righty, folks. Thank you, Super Chatters. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Guys, the best thing you can do to help make sure that your neighbors are prepping so they don't come to eat you is spread the word. Spread the word that they need to do this. Share my videos. I got tons of videos on this stuff and talk about how to survive EMP, how to survive. I got just a lot of videos about the threats of EMP, threats to our grid, the threats of sleeper cells to our grid. Hey, Angela, how you doing? Lots of threats, guys. We need to be aware of these things. Keep your eyes wide open, your head on a swivel. But always remember, you don't take it out on any class of people because there's good people from every corner of the world. Of every race, color, creed, religion, every language. But they, the players play us against each other. And some people only got one source of information. And it seems they would like to have everybody only have one source of information. As long as we can, we'll bring you what you need to know to survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. That's what we're trying to do here. Be prepared only to survive, but to build a better world, yes. Our mission is to survive this, then stand up and shake it off and build a better world on the other side should it hit. If we can keep it from hitting, that's even better. An ounce of prevention is better than a gallon of cure. That's why I support power grid defense. Because I like to prevent as much as possible. We never prevent it all, but the more that we can, the more water we can throw down on the dust and stuff that might combust, the better off we'll be. Help others when you can. Amen, Carol. Preparedness matters. It does. It does. Don't be scared. Be prepared. All right, my friends. Once again, thank you, Super Chatters. Thank you, mods, and thank you, everyone, for watching. Share my videos. If you've not clicked the thumbs up, please click it. Make sure. Go back and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Go back and double check that. Anyway, folks, One and all, a good night or good day, depending on where you're at. And with that, I am going to say